What's that noise? Next, we're working for you and digging into an around-the-clock nuisance and why it isn't being addressed. Plus, parking in San Diego getting more expensive. The changes coming to some of your favorite free options. And a 15-year legal dispute is over. How a settlement over water will affect your bills. Thank you so much for joining us here, everyone. I'm Eric Conrad. Here at CBS 8, we are working for you. We're getting to the bottom of problems you've asked us about. We're looking for solutions. We begin in La Mesa, where people are fed up with loud sounds coming from the Alvarado water treatment plant. Neighbors asked us to look into this. They tell us they haven't had problems before, but within the last several months, they started noticing a loud noise. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you to get answers on what's going on.
You may be able to hear that noise in the background of where I'm standing. People who live in this neighborhood tell me it's been happening for weeks at a time over the course of several months, Monday through Friday, all day long.
It's been torture.
Especially for Mia Jones, who currently lives right next door to the City of San Diego's Alvarado water treatment plant.
The windows vibrate, the floor vibrates, aside from the noise that I'm sure you can hear right now behind me. And I can't imagine that the decibels that this is producing is at anywhere near any kind of an acceptable level.
What's the measure at right now?
It's 96.
That's according to an app on David Little's phone. He lives down the street. I checked the city's 2024 general plan, and it states the city enforces the noise abatement and control ordinance, which limits noise levels to 75 dBA generated on site by industrial uses. La Mesa's general plan has the same limit.
We feel helpless. We're not getting much response or even an explanation for this from the city.
It's been a nightmare. It's just so annoying. It's constant annoyance.
And it's not just noise coming from the plant.
Stand right here. You can hear a bunch of crazy noise from the back of the lab.
I walked with David to the other side of the Alvarado Water Treatment Campus where the water quality lab is. He wanted to show me these large yellow air handling external units, which he says also make an obnoxious noise, but it's more constant at 24 hours a day. David shared this video saying it's so bad his wife and dog recently took off to Arizona to get away from it.
I think we'd like our neighborhood to return to the way it's been for the last 40 years, which we can hear crickets at night and we can hear each other speak. We can actually, live our lives without being tortured.
I asked a city spokesperson about the noises. In an email response, they said the source of the lab noise hasn't been identified, adding public utilities and general services staff have been investigating the noise for several weeks and are in daily contact with residents in the area to provide updates. David acknowledges he has exchanged emails with city staff about the lab noise. As for the treatment plant, the spokesperson told me it's a filter rehabilitation project, stating a loud machine is required to remove used filter material and replace it with new filter material. This machine runs intermittently from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. This project is scheduled to be completed by September 2025. Working for you,
We just want our neighborhood back.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Our next story takes us to the pedestrian bridge that links University Heights and Hillcrest. Viewers reached out to us asking, why are the lights out here? They stopped working last year and people who live in the neighborhood were concerned about their safety at night. CBS 8's Abby Black working for you to shed some light on the situation.
The Vermont Street Bridge is a crucial connection between University Heights and Hillcrest. But when the sun goes down, neighbors tell us that these broken lights leave them walking in darkness. We're working for you on why they feel the city has left them in the dark about when this safety issue will be fixed.
It's pitch black at night, and it's a death fall.
Neighbors are scared to ditch their cars and walk across a grocery shop or dime because they can't see what's ahead.
I never feel safe walking over the bridge at night.
I've taken my shoes off and hightailed it out just to get across the bridge. It's scary.
Their fears are not unfounded. During the day, they see people like this passed out on the bridge. When we were there, our drone caught 4 officers questioning them as the fire department arrived.
The danger is there. When you can't see from one end of the bridge to the other, and then you get halfway across and there's somebody laying there and don't know what kind of mental condition they're in. It's frightening.
Deborah Morrison serves on the University Heights Community Association, and as you can see by the number of concerned neighbors who showed up, frustrations are mounting.
Since August of 24, the lights have been off on the Vermont Street pedestrian bridge.
I checked the city's Get It Done website and found just this year there have been 30-plus streetlight maintenance reports on this bridge alone.
Twice they said they would be out in November, then they said it was going to be the end of April, and now they said it's undetermined when.
So I went to the city transportation department to find out what's the deal. A spokesperson tells me that they're aware of the outage. It was fixed last fall, but there's been repeated tampering and vandalism. No word if they're upgraded with their $400 tamper-proof boxes. But here's the real problem. To summarize the statement, the city says budget constraints have suspended overtime for streetlight electricians. I also found out the shocking backlog, more than 5,000 streetlight maintenance reports in queue with repair turnaround time at 500 days.
And it also supports the climate action programs of the city. This kind of a major throughway is hugely important.
I also reached out to Councilmember Stephen Whitbird's office, who says that this is urgent and he's encouraging the city to prioritize this safety issue.
Please turn the lights on.
Working for you in University Heights and Hillcrest, Abby Black, CBS 8.
And we have an update on that story. Just one day after our original report aired, the lights on the Vermont Street pedestrian bridge were fixed. The city tells us the lights were repaired last fall, but were later knocked out by vandals. One reason for the delay to the repairs, the city had to wait about 2 months for a $400 anti-theft tamper-proof light box. Free parking at Balboa Park, the zoo, and at meters on Sundays may soon be coming to an end. The San Diego City Council has approved new changes that will cost you more to park at some of the city's iconic attractions. CBS 8's Alex Cheney takes a closer look at what's happening.
It is parking meters like these that have already doubled in price all across the city of San Diego. And now with new proposed changes last night, those fees could be going up even more. And reaction today was mixed.
Parking may get even pricier in the city of San Diego. Last night, City Council approved a change to the municipal code that would allow the city to charge for parking at Balboa Park and the zoo, which before has never had a parking fee. People we talked to today weren't happy about it.
It definitely sucks. The zoo is a hard place to start charging for. It already costs enough to go to the zoo.
In February, the City Council voted to double parking at some city meters from $1.25 to $2.50 per hour, and now are proposing charging $10 an hour to park at metered spots during peak times around Petco Park, and will charge for metered parking citywide on Sundays for the first time.
I think it's a total bummer. I hate to see more and more fees as you come to San Diego. San Diego is pretty expensive already.
No, because that's not cool, because then it's going to be screwing over people who don't exactly make the kind of money that perhaps other people make.
Others we talked to were in favor of the fees, saying they will make people use different modes of transit.
And I think charging for parking will hopefully encourage people to take more alternate routes like buses or bikes.
Last month, we talked to Council member Sean Elo Rivera, who last night proposed only charging non-residents for parking. He said if the zoo were to charge the same $20 rate as they do at the safari park to non-residents only, then both the zoo and the city could raise $15 to $20 million a year.
But at a certain point, I don't think it's unfair to ask folks who are coming to this city as visitors to chip in and contribute.
Elo Rivera went on to suggest a resident parking permit that would entitle people who actually live in the city of San Diego to some discounts. And as of right now, there is no set timetable for when those new parking fees will increase. But the City Council will finalize balancing the budget next Tuesday. I'm Alex Cheney, CBS 8.
After years of legal battles over water costs, a new deal promises stability for San Diego ratepayers. CBS 8's Alex Lai working for you and shows us what's changing and how it affects your bill.
Under the new agreement, the Water Authority will pay a fixed price of $671 for transferring each acre foot, which equals nearly 326,000 gallons. It will be adjusted each year for inflation, but Metropolitan Board Chair Adon Ortega says it brings stability.
Now there's a more predictable rate that the County Water Authority can base their finances on. It also creates fixed revenue for Metropolitan that we can count on.
San Diego Water Authority Board Chair Nick Serrano says that fixed rate also protects San Diego ratepayers from paying for new metropolitan infrastructure that doesn't benefit San Diego.
At the end of the day, it is still a win-win for them because Metropolitan now has the certainty that San Diego County is going to pay a fixed amount to them, but we won't see those spikes in infrastructure investments should they decide to make them at the Met Board.
The deal also allows San Diego to sell unused water to other metropolitan agencies, which could help offset our water rates.
We bring those revenues in, we can apply it to water rates, and my hope and goal it would be to bring down water rates for the residents and businesses of San Diego.
While the agreement takes effect in 2026, it's not yet clear how soon ratepayers will see changes on their bills, but the hope is to lower prices and prevent future rate hikes.
It should bring rate stability and not as drastic rate increases that the city and other retailers have to pass on to customers. It's a win-win-win kind of situation.
Alex Lai reporting there. The Water Authority is expecting to vote later this month on a proposed 12% rate hike for 2026. Last year, it approved a rate hike of 14%. When we talk to both sides, they say the settlement will help them avoid costly legal fights and help both agencies plan better long term. Next, your eyes are not deceiving you. There is something wrong on the Mission Beach Boardwalk. We're going to show you what happened here. And school is out for summer, how kids can enjoy their break and stay engaged all summer long. Well, they're supposed to keep things straight, right? But newly painted yellow lines on the Mission Beach Boardwalk are turning heads for all the wrong reasons. CBS 8's Brian White working for you and shows us what happened here.
They were meant to bring order to the boardwalk, but instead, the freshly painted yellow lines are causing some double takes.
I see not straight lines. It looks like they did a poor job. That was pretty rushed.
Connor Holmes lives near the boardwalk. He says the idea of lane markers is good, but the execution, not so much.
We live right down the way on Santa Barbara Place, and I came out and down the boardwalk more. The lines get a bit more curvy as you go. It was overdue, but I think they did a poor job with it.
This is a picture from a Reddit post showing how bad some of the curves were after it was painted Friday. The City of San Diego says the wavy striping was the result of faulty equipment that day. A crew removed some of the paint once it dried, but wet weather delayed restriping. The city says they'll repaint this section as soon as conditions allow.
Dude, this is crooked. There's some areas where it just seems like they didn't put as much effort as they could have into painting the lines.
And some say they really depend on these lines.
Like, I can't really go straight on a bike. And like, if I was like going on a bike without a straight line, I'd just be like, woo.
Even with a few curves, some still appreciate the fact that these lines are there at all.
Well, there's a lot of traffic here, especially on the weekends, and to have more clarity about what direction people should be going and where they should be going on the sidewalk, it just makes sense to me.
Meanwhile, Connor's glad they repainted the old faded lines, and he says at least their intent was on the right path.
Step in the right direction, but I don't know. They probably could have done a better job with things.
Brian White, CBS 8.
And from getting ahead in the classroom to playing with puppies, San Diego has a lot to offer kids this summer break. CBS 8's Jenny Day is working for you, helping make sure you know your options.
Summer break is around the corner for many families. It's of course great, but can be daunting to find ways to fill the time. So let me explain how this pup can help.
Dogs, cats, and rabbits all in need of care and companionship as well this summer break.
For moms and dads looking for some really positive educational things for their kids to do this summer.
After 2 years of construction, including this new learning center, the Rancho Coastal Humane Society in Encinitas is once again offering summer animal camps. Be sure to check their website for free scholarships.
The kids really are involved in everything. They'll be in our new learning center. They'll be in the kennels, the cattery, the rabbitat. They'll probably be back in our new medical center. It's a full full exposure to animals, what it's like to own an animal, what it's like to care for an animal.
They have camps Monday through Friday from 9 to 3 for kids ages 6 through 14. There is also a teen foster program. So whether your adolescent animal lover has an interest in becoming a veterinarian or just wants to play catch, there's a spot for you. They even have a program called Happy Tales, where children read to the animals up for adoption.
A little boy reading to a cat, and as he was sitting there, he's got 3 other cats behind him, and he would read a page, and then he would turn around and show them pictures in the book.
San Diego Unified is also offering opportunities for students to keep those skills sharp this summer.
These dynamic experiences will help students grow academically while building friendships and a strong sense of community.
The district is offering extra academic support, visual and performing arts camps, and paid internships for aspiring educators. Also, their free summer meal program.
This is our 5th year of comprehensive extended learning opportunities, summer programming, and we've served over 190,000 students over the summer months.
A way to give you a break and keep them engaged all summer long. Working for you, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
Is it no longer a seller's market in San Diego? Coming up, we're looking at current trends as homes sit on the market longer than usual. Biologists say recent water samples here in Southern California show no signs of the algae. They created that toxic bloom that killed hundreds of animals over the past 3 months. This was the most severe and longest algae bloom in Southern California history. The bloom was devastating for marine mammals, but also dangerous for people, with reports of sick sea lions turning aggressive and even biting surfers. Biologists say the bloom was a crisis created by humans, and future blooms can also be solved by them.
We need to do a better job of mitigating against the future effects of climate change, making it not as bad as it could be. That's step number one. It's a big step, but we have to take it. The ocean is telling us it's not well, it's not healthy, and we have to take those big steps to solve problems like this.
This was also one of the earliest toxic algae blooms in Southern California. They typically begin in June. With new COVID vaccine recommendations now in place, some people are wondering if insurance will still cover it. This comes as a new variant is spreading across California. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you on this story and has more on what you need to know.
For the past several years, people have grown accustomed to going to CVS or your doctor's office to get the COVID vaccine free of charge. But since new recommendations were announced for pregnant women and children, some are wondering if that will change.
As of today, the COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule.
On the same day, Health and Human Services Director Robert F. Kennedy Jr. made that announcement, the CDC published an update on its website. I checked, and instead of recommending the vaccine for healthy children, the agency now says they may get it. For pregnant women, it lists the vaccine as having no guidance or not applicable.
We've moved from a very aggressive vaccination schedule with COVID.
Dr. Sogol Ash specializes in functional medicine. I asked her about what this change means, specifically as it relates to insurance. Under the Affordable Care Act, providers are required to cover vaccines recommended by the CDC.
During the pandemic, it was much easier to get vaccinated and have it covered or get treatment for COVID like Paxlovid, things like that, when it's recommended. But when something's not recommended, then we kind of go into a different category where people might be having to pay cash for things like a vaccine or certain labs or certain medications.
So far, insurance companies have not announced a shift in coverage. It's also important to note the CDC still broadly recommends COVID-19 vaccines for moderately or severely immunocompromised children, in addition to most adults. What about vaccine availability? Some experts say it's too soon to tell if the changes will make the vaccine harder to find, though CVS, the nation's largest pharmacy chain, did tell me they do have it. For some, that's a critical part of all this right now, as a new variant that originated in China is spreading here in the U.S. Dr. Ash tells me symptoms are similar to prior variants, adding the latest COVID-19 vaccine does protect against it.
So the current vaccines, especially the ones that target, the Omicron subvariants, are expected to protect against the severe outcomes from this new strain.
Working for you, Shanna Handy, CBS 8.
SeaWorld has agreed to pay a $1.5 million settlement over its annual passes auto-renewing without clear warning. 2 San Diego residents sued, saying SeaWorld didn't clearly disclose renewal terms, failed to send reminders, and made cancellations difficult. You might be eligible for a portion of the settlement if you live in California and purchased an annual pass that auto-renewed between February 28th of 2019 and February 28th of this year, 5 years, and you did not receive a refund. A judge still needs to give final approval in August. Well, San Diego's once red-hot housing market may be losing some heat. More homes sitting unsold for longer, and some sellers are cutting prices. So is this a sign of a slowdown? CBS 8's Brian White, working for your wallet, taking a closer look.
Yeah, for years, homes in San Diego seem to fly off the market, often within days and above asking price. But now inventory is climbing and listings are lingering longer than you'd expect. At this home in La Mesa, realtor Zaid Kareem is overseeing renovations to help the property stand out.
In this market, sellers have to do a little bit of legwork in order to help their property sell for maximum profit.
That legwork includes fresh paint, new flooring, and a modern look, features today's buyers are expecting.
People, when they want to buy a home, they don't want to come in with a giant honey-do list. They want to come in, unlock the door, move in, and host a beautiful home gathering.
San Diego's housing market remains competitive, but the days of bidding wars and homes selling overnight have cooled off. According to RE/MAX, homes now sit on the market an average of 37 days, and active inventory is up 70% compared to this time last year.
We are seeing properties do sit a little bit longer on the market, and the main ingredient for that is being overly priced. The property will sit on the market, and at that point, you're going to have to lower the price and lower the price, which does not look as a positive trend for that home.
With mortgage rates hovering near 6.9%, buyers are still cautious. But despite more homes staying on the market, San Diego's housing values remain strong. The median sale price for a single-family home is over $1 million.
San Diego market is still a very competitive market. Yes, you will get a local up and down, but if you look at it over the number of years, the values are always continuously going up.
So while the frenzy has cooled and things have gotten a little better for buyers lately, San Diego is still a seller's market. Experts say strategy and realistic pricing are key to making that sale. Brian White, CBS 8.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Remember, if there's something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Eric Connert. We'll see you next time.